Okay, so it's the end of the season. The tomato plants have got lots of fruit on, but they're not ripening very quickly. And you have got that nasty cold spell coming in, which is going to kill everything and ruin everything. So, what do? You harvest your tomatoes, green, semi ripe, whatever you got. All right. And you can use paper bags. I've got plastic bags here. But basically, what you're looking to do is to be able to ripen your tomatoes off the vine. And the way you do that is with every bag container of green or underripe, you can see some like that there, just barely starting to turn. There's another one, just barely starting to turn. Not ripe enough yet, but it's not going to take a lot of time in these bags, and they're going to start to ripen up. And even the green ones are going to ripen. Hopefully going to ripen fairly quickly, but they are definitely going to ripen. So all I do, I've got them in the bags. I just loosely cover the bags, and I'm going to open these up on a regular occasion. I've got so all these tomatoes were washed, with clean water, so that there shouldn't be any contaminants in there, spoiling the fruit. But I will still be checking on these on a regular basis. So every day or so I'm going to check this, and anything that looks bad or that is fully ripe, I'm going to pull it out, and it's going to get used. Not by me, but it's going to get used. And in the meantime, anything that is semi-ripe, which is starting to ripen, is giving off a gas. I think it's called ethylene, but I might be wrong on that. That might be just Anyway, it's giving off some sort of gas that actually promotes the rest of the fruit from ripening. So by having, a semi-ripe tomato in this bag with all the others, it's actually going to give off a gas which is going to help to ripen all the others. And if you don't have a semi-ripe tomato, banana is another one that can be used. In Australia, I used to ripen bananas in exactly the same way. You get some ripe bananas and you put them I actually just used to put them under a tarp, and the semi-ripe bananas, as they're ripening, would actually start turning all the other bananas and ripen them. So that's what we're doing here. Anyway, so that's what I've got at the moment, and I'm going to cover that up loosely, and in a few days I'm going to open that up and see how it is. Okay, video 2 of the tomato ripening. It's been kept at like a cool room temperature. Hasn't really dropped below about 60 degrees. Hasn't got above about 75. So I'm keeping it at cool temperatures. I don't know if that's the best thing to do, but it's working for me. So what I'm doing now is the ones that have ripened, and they're obviously like this here, they're nice and red, still firm, so it's nice and ripe right now. And I've got more that are beginning to ripen. You can see the very slight tinge of orange starting to come through, and actually this one, and this one. So those are all starting to ripen. And same in a couple of these other containers. I've got ripe, I've got still totally green, and I've got one here that's just starting to turn. Same in there, same in here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pull off the ripe ones and use them, and the ones that are ripening, just starting to turn, they're going to give off a gas which is going to keep the ripening process going. So this has been about, I think, 3 days since I took the last video on this, and that's all it's taken for those to ripen up to the point that they are usable. And yeah, so I'll pull these out, all the nice ripe ones, while trying to film. It's not the easiest. So take that one, leave this one, take that one, nice ripe tomato, take that one, nice ripe tomato. So what, I might have mentioned it in the first video, but why would you even do this? I guess they're probably sweeter if they're ripened on the vine, but if I'd let these freeze, which there was a heavy frost coming, and that would have been enough to not only kill the plant but harm the fruit that was on the plant. So now I'm going to consolidate this a little bit, put those green ones in there, and I'm going to leave that one. I'll put all these in here, and some of the other recommendations are for paper bags, and that may be so, but once again, I'm keeping this at a cool temperature. I'm keeping it out, and I'm opening it pretty much every day just to have a look at everything. If there was any tomatoes in there that looked like they were about to go rotten or had damage on them in any way, I'd pull those out. And once again, these were all washed and cleaned and picked through before they were put in here. So alright, and this is, what day is it today? Thursday morning, and we'll see how this looks in another few days. Okay, probably should just document the tomatoes I've pulled off so far. Okay, just going to finish off my tomato ripening video. So today I actually harvested about probably 100 pounds of green to semi-ripe tomatoes. Most of them were sort of maybe this stage. There's a few red ones there, but anyway, winter's coming. In the next week, we're going to see a lot of 15 degree Fahrenheit temperatures, 15, 19, what that means is, what's that, about 15 degrees below freezing in Celsius. So anyway, so I've had to pull a lot of tomatoes, got to do something with them. Not really, they ripened up nicely. I'm not really a fan of tomatoes myself, but anyway, a lot of other people are. So I do this for them. So to end this, this is the third time I've pulled off ripe tomatoes from these bags, and every time I do, a nice one, every time I do, there's a few more that are just beginning to turn, such as that there. Alright, you can just see the orange just starting to come up in that. So that's a tomato that will be ripening probably in the next 4 days. And this is about 4 days since I did the last video, and so I'm pulling them off. And I'm also going to consolidate. You know what, I'll leave that in for another day. I can pull that off a little bit later. I'm going to consolidate them into one container. Also trim out, clean out anything that is not going to ripen. This one here is green, it's all sort of wrinkled. Anyway, I don't think that's going to ripen, so I'm going to pull it out right now. There's a couple like that. Yeah, most of these are pretty good. semi-ripe one, another fully ripe one, semi-ripe, and all these here were very green, but they have started to change colour, so I've got a lot of hope I'm going to get some more out of these. And once again, this is, this is emergency, save your crop. You've still got tomatoes on the vine, you've got a freeze coming, which is going to kill everything. And what do? And this is what you do. You harvest them, you ripen them, and you use them. Okay, one more bag ready to go, and maybe 10 pounds of tomatoes to use elsewhere.